Welcome back to the Vegas Insider Golf Betting Show, the most informative golf show in the Western Hemisphere, under 10 minutes. I'm your host, Sam Wagman. We're officially on a heater now with 3 outrights called in the last 3 weeks, including Jon Rahm to win the Masters last week. But we're on to this week's RBC Heritage, though, so let's dive right into it. Harbortown Golf Links is another second shot golf course, and it has an average driving distance of about 15 yards less than the tour average. So you're going to see a lot of layups off the tee, a lot of angular position shots, and plus you don't have to be a bomber of the golf ball to really succeed here. Tiny greens, narrow fairways, and protective greenside bunkers are just a few of the hallmarks of this Pete Dye design. And, like all Pete Dye designs, it has some tiny, annoying greens to deal with as well. Elite ball strikers and accurate drivers are your friends here, and you really don't have to be that long off the tee to get things done. Now, this event has been upgraded to an elevated event, so we have the best field that has ever been assembled here, minus a few notable names like Rory, who withdrew, Jason Day, who is injured, and Will Zalatoris, who is out for the rest of the season due to back surgery. Now, this is not nearly as difficult a course as Augusta National, so while we still have this very strong field, it's going to be easier for some of those names more down the list to get into contention here and really contend this week. With that said, let's dive into my picks for this week. I want to start with my first outright, and it's Cameron Young, who I took at 28-1 yesterday when the odds opened, but he's since dropped to 22-1 over at BetMGM. Now, I'm not saying this pick doesn't come with some risk. We're taking Cam Young at what appears to be his lowest pre-flop number since he started playing on the PGA Tour. 22-1 is not a number that, many people would recommend to take a guy who hasn't won yet. Especially in this strong of a field. But I do think that Young is just right on the cusp. He's been there. He just competed at Augusta. He was runner-up in a couple majors last year. He's got all the tools in the bag to really take over a golf course and really win. And, we've seen bombers do well. Jordan Spieth won here last year, and he's absolutely a bomber of the golf ball. You really just have to be a very good ball striker. And that's exactly what Cam Young is. So, like I said, I'm more interested in the overall ball striking ability, which is always stellar. And what really doomed him at Augusta was the fact that he couldn't really get the spin going on a couple of his wedge shots. But I'm not really that worried about that here. You're going to have a lot more mid to long iron shots than you are to have wedges in here, as the most popular proximity for approach shots is 175 to 200 yards, and that accounts for over 26% of those approach shots. Another thing I've noticed about Cameron Young is he always plays up to stiff competition. And that's going to be a big deal in this video for me, as all the guys I've picked have done better when they're up against that higher echelon of competition there. So I really do think that Cam Young is a huge competitor this week, and his putting, which tends to be his worst feature of his game, is going to be a little bit neutralized here. His lack of being able to read greens that well. These greens are tiny. They're the second smallest on tour at only 3,700 square feet on average. So don't worry too much about the putting. I think Young can take advantage of it and really do well at this course. Next up, I want to go to Sam Burns, who is 40-1 over at PointsBet. And again, he matches up with this type of golf course really well. We saw him win at Colonial before. He's won a couple times at Valspar. These are all positional golf courses that fit really similarly here. We've seen him contend at some Pete Dye tracks before. So I really do like his course fit, his comp course fit, which is something I'm weighing really heavily this week with the elevated field. And his best finish here is a T9 back in 2019. And despite his stats not really being up to it, he's not a great ball striker, and he's not the most accurate off the tee. I'm not really worried about that. What Sam Burns does best is win. He has 5 wins since the start of last year, and I really do think that he can get things going again here, because he, like Cam Young, he really does do well against that stiff competition. Now, I want to roll with my placement bet of the week here. And I'm going with Tom Kim to finish in the top 10 at plus 400 odds. Now, if this unnerves you a little bit because Kim hasn't played that well recently, fine. You can go with the top 20 at plus 190. I like that too. Anything over plus 175 for that is perfectly fine to me. But I'm personally going with the plus 400 here. I think for him to finish in the top 10, after what I saw him do at Augusta last week, he gutted out a top 16 finish there and really playing against the best competition in the world on a course that really requires you to be able to hit the ball long, despite him not being able to do that. He really played well, and what I really noticed most was his ball striking, which has not looked great in recent months, really looked good there. And that's going to be a huge asset for him at Harbour Town. Look, he's short off the tee, but he's accurate, which really matches up well with this stellar iron play. And another thing for me here, this course matches up really closely to Sedgefield Country Club, which is the location of the Wyndham Championship. If you remember, Tom Kim quadruple bogeyed the first hole of the Wyndham on Thursday last year and then lapped the entire field to easily win that tournament. So I have confidence that Kim can once again go out and really contend here. That's going to do it for this week. Don't forget to check out the Vegas Insider TV YouTube channel. We have a ton of content from myself, Kevin Rogers, Joe Osborne, Joe Bajol, and hit that like and comment on this video. And don't forget to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner as well. Really helps us out. And good luck on your bets this week, guys.